On the 4th of May 2022, quite a Wednesday, we start off with a bit of sad news. My name is Patricia Lokoma Mpango, and this is your lunchtime news. Now, 20 people have been confirmed dead in a link bus accident in Fort Portal. The accident occurred on Wednesday at Sebitoli along the Fort Portal-Kampala highway. The traffic police spokesperson Farida Nampima said that out of the 20 people, 13 were adults and 7 juveniles. The identities of the dead are yet to be established. According to the eyewitnesses, the bus, a link bus, registered number UBA 0035S, which was heading to Kampala from Bundibujo, swayed off the road and overturned several times. We will be bringing this detailed story in our subsequent bulletins. But to the bereaved families, may the souls of those that were lost rest in eternal peace. Now, at least 5 people have been confirmed dead and 6 others hospitalized following the road crash that occurred early Wednesday. The crash involved 3 vehicles and 1 motorcycle that happened at a border of Mbale and Namatala bridge along Mbale Tirenyi Road at Milo Tano in Nasenyi sub-county in Budaka district. And of course, that story as well will be coming to you still in our subsequent bulletin. Now, the Ministry of Land, Housing and Urban Development has issued stringent guidelines to the petroleum industry, especially fuel stations in the country, as a move while addressing the media this afternoon at the Uganda Media Center in Kampala. The Lands Minister Judith Nabakova reiterated that the continued construction and unregulated operations of fuel stations, especially in urban centers, risks not only lives but even properties worth billions of shillings, hence calling for streamlining. All these stories will be coming to us, to you, our dear viewer, in our subsequent bulletin. Now, Rotaract and National Forestry Authority is to restore 10 hectares of Ozubu Central Forest Reserve in Koboko District. Speaking during the IPRES conference in Kampala, Anna Nkutu, the district Rotaract governor, together with other parties and partners, said that over 300 youths will travel to Koboko district and Arua city in northern Uganda to plant trees in order to reclaim the Ozubu Central Forest Reserve, as well as carry out activities and donate items in a bid to uplift the livelihoods of the surrounding communities.
How often do you even think about who might have planted the trees? How often do you even think about thanking the people who planted those trees? I hope that after today you're going to begin to think about it. That every time there is a share, you say thank you to whoever planted this tree. And as you go to Ozubu Forest, it is a great thing that you're going to plant those trees. But I would like you to work with the communities that surround Ozubu Forest. And I'm glad that our partner from NFA talked about collaborative management of trees. After you plant the trees, you're going to leave. It is important that the people who are near these trees take care of them that they get to love them and they're the ones who will protect the trees. So make sure that you work with the communities.
I am grateful to really hear from you about the beehive. If we do this, we have actually started projects of that kind under collaborative forest management. Collaborative forest management that is working adjacent to the groups that are staying near the forests. So to help them preserve or conserve this forest, we have gone on to provide livelihood projects like beehive keeping.
And every time I think about how passionate, how committed we are as social actors to ensuring that the world remains green and very habitable for future generations, it makes me very happy, and I'm very glad to be leading a team of such amazing young ladies and gentlemen.
Now, efforts to establish Uganda National Institute for Teachers Education Unite in a high gear with now infrastructure development and refurbishment at the Unite Secretariat Shimoni co-PTC is underway. The Belgium Development Agency has handed over a remodeled office block and is sponsoring the renovation of most structures to pave way for phasing out non-graduate teachers in the teaching profession. The permanent secretary at the Ministry of Education and Sports, Kitty Lamaro, is optimistic that the dream for teacher education hatched in 2013 is now taking shape.
Program to address the challenges in the teaching profession is taking root, with now the establishment of the Uganda National Institute of Teacher Education to carry out reforms and policies for evaluation of teacher education and standards. The permanent secretary at the Ministry of Education and Sports, Kitty Lamaro, while receiving a refurbished office block at Shimon Koa PTC, is grateful to Unite Task Force for working in record time to the July 2022 establishment of Uganda National Institute of Teacher Education.
By these standards, National Council for Higher Education requires an institution of higher learning like Unite to have befitting infrastructure, including offices of managers, teaching and non-teaching staff, and guild offices. Therefore, the Unite main campus needs more than 50 offices to accommodate top management and campus staff under different departments.
Lamaro expressed government willingness to establish the necessary infrastructure to satisfy the demands to the teaching profession standards.
The government, through Ministry of Education and Sports, took a formidable step to establish Unite as Uganda's hope to redeem the image of the teaching profession, and subsequently the appointment of the Unite Task Force was the first milestone registered by the ministry in line with the recommendations in the National Teacher Policy.
The Commissioner, Teacher Education Training and Development Department at the Ministry of Education and Sports, Jonathan Kamwana, says the institutionalization policy of the Uganda National Institute of Teacher Education is soon to be tabled before Cabinet. He, however, laments the numerous challenges faced by the establishment of the Teachers Professional Development Body, Unite.
That's a challenge of funding. Then another challenge is the popularity. You know, there is the issue of progression and the issue of phasing out of institution. Everybody wants to hear something put in place. We want regional health training institutions for health tutors. We want regional instructor training colleges like Habironino. We have only one in the country. We have only one health tutors college in the country.
Handing over the renovated and remodeled office block, the interventions manager at the Belgian Development Agency, Enabel, and Hannah Nayoga, says this arrangement with the Belgian Kingdom is to address institutional development, infrastructure, and pedagogy in the current education reforms.
We've also been ensuring that as Unite takes shape, lecturers from the national teachers colleges ably at the level that is required to teach in these institutions. I'm pleased to announce today that this partnership between Enable, the Belgian Development Agency, and the Ministry of Education and Sports has moved a step further to develop a climate responsive design course. It's an online course that is open to everyone.
The establishment of the Uganda National Institute of the Teacher Education Unity is part of the implementation of the current teacher training policy. Under this arrangement, all national teacher training and primary teacher colleges will be admitting senior 6 leavers and diploma level holders for the award of degrees. Sudat Kaye. Douglas Setumba.
Well, thank you very much there, Sudat Kaye. Now the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development has issued stringent guidelines to the petroleum industry, especially fuel stations in the country, as a move to curb the rise of petrol problems in the country.
There is a growing concern over the increasing number of fuel stations, particularly in urban areas, more so in Greater Kampala metropolitan area. In some areas, there are over 10 fuel stations within a distance of 1 kilometer. By any standards, 10 fuel stations in 1 kilometer, they are too many. These raise health, environmental, and safety concerns and results into some form of spatial nuisance. Some of the fuel stations are located in congested commercial and residential areas, and to make matters worse, some have established a total disregard of existing laws and also land use framework. Against the above stated background, the National Physical Planning Board, together with the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, came up with the physical planning conditions for locations of fuel stations, Regulations 2022, which are being launched today. Section 6, the petroleum facility construction permit is required in the regulations. A person who wishes to construct a fuel station shall, after obtaining a building permit under Regulation 4, apply for a petroleum facility construction permit from the ministry responsible for energy prior to commencing construction. A fuel station shall not be located less than 200 meters from facilities such as schools, places of worship, a public library, auditorium, hospital, market, and public playground. A fuel station shall not be located in or close to a sensitive ecosystem such as a national park, lake, forest, river, stream, historical site, or major aquifer except as prescribed by the law relating to the management of the sensitive environmental area. A fuel station shall not be located less than 200 meters from a high residential area. That's a congested residential area or a dense residential area. Where a fuel station adjoins the boundary of a residential area, the developer shall provide and maintain a physical barrier in form of a wall fence along the boundary. Section 1 of Section 8, the minimum distance from a fuel station to a road junction, a roundabout, or intersection along any road where a right turn is required shall not be less than 200 meters. A fuel station should have a distance of at least 200 meters from each other. If they are opposite each other, the distance should not be less than 200 meters.
Now, issues to do with Kampala air pollution. Government is at risk of spending on treatment of respiratory diseases in Kampala urban city settlers following the increasing levels of air pollution in the city. A report from Air Quality Monitoring Networks shows that Kampala city has for the last 7 months experienced extremely high levels of air pollution above the expected level by World Health Organization.
The air pollution levels recorded in all divisions of Kampala were more than 5 times higher than the World Health Organization guidelines.
Kampala City has for the last 7 months registered the highest levels of air pollution above the expected levels as per the World Health Organization. A report by Air Quality Monitoring Network shows that Kawempe Division has the highest pollution concentration, followed by Busega, Kampala Civic Division, Chireka and Chira among
kilograms per cubic meter.
The contributing pollutant sources in the report include vehicles in dangerous mechanical conditions, open solid waste burning and disposal, dusty roads and higher concentration of factories in Kampala City. As Uganda commemorates the World Quality Air Week, recommendations include adopting greenhouse technology, restriction of entry of DMC vehicles, proper waste disposal, among others. KCCA Director Public Health Dr. Daniel Okello warns that if no action is taken, the surge in air pollution-related death will outweigh the HIV cases.
Due to bad air quality, we are losing 26,000 people, and due to HIV, 22,000 people. So you'd actually see where the effects are.
Similarly, there has been a rise in cases of respiratory diseases like asthma. Efforts to scale down pollution levels through continuous monitoring, tree planting, awareness creation are managed by different stakeholders.
But you cannot look at the skies and say that the air quality is good or is bad. You need science to be able to quantify and tell you that this is the quality of air.
Of things we are doing, you can see we are trying to make the roads better, renovate the roads such that people can be able to move faster. You might have noticed that when there are potholes, cars slow down and jams do occur.
Air pollution causes heart diseases, lung cancer, respiratory diseases such as asthma, flu, among others. Susan Naonga reporting for EBC TV.
The NRM Secretary General Richard Tudong has urged local government leaders and district chairpersons to implement the NRM manifesto ahead of the 2026 presidential elections. Tudong was addressing an induction retreat of district chairpersons from Bunyoro, Rwenzori and Kigezi sub-regions at the National Leadership Institute in Chankwanzi.
The Secretary General NRM Party Richard Tudong wants district leaders to know what the NRM manifesto entails.
At times I feel embarrassed. I go with the president for campaign, he stands on the podium and says, there is free UPE. Then you hear people shouting, no, we are paying. And when you start digging deeper, you know that the capitation grant that is sent to schools at times is not enough. Urban schools, I was in Sironko, I found a primary school, one stream alone, one class had about 3 streams. And they didn't have enough space to put children. The school is oversubscribed, especially after the lockdown. I think people were overproducing during the lockdown. All the schools are flooded with the children.
During the induction retreat on manifesto implementation for the district leaders from Ankole, Bunyoro, Rwenzori and Kigezi sub-region, Tudong said it's time to fulfill promises made to the electorate.
Every failed government project, there is a succeeding private project. Quote me on this, and I'm speaking with authority over this. Whether a road project has collapsed and failed, you follow those who are in charge directly. Somebody somewhere in the system, in the line, in the chain, is benefiting.
The senior presidential advisor in charge of economic and manifesto implementation, Professor Ephraim Kamuntu, urged leaders to mobilize the population against poverty.
If you are a member of the party in a multi-party political system, your song is the manifesto. To me, to be a member of a party and be independent of it is a contradiction in my judgment. How can you be a member of the party and then you are independent of it? Well, you have mentioned the problem of Register, Vichivichi. But in every competition, so I can put a question. So when will all these problems be cured so that a member of parliament is a member of parliament of the party and is not independent because, the register went bad? Anyway.
The Director of Manifesto Implementation Unit at the Office of the President, Willis Bashasha, says the induction meeting checks the readiness of implementing the NRM manifesto.
However, as a local government, we still face one challenge, that whatever we plan to make, to work on in the end of the financial years are facilitated by central government. But at the moment we are facing a challenge because you cannot talk about manifesto implementation when the Ministry of Finance keeps on slashing down budget allocation to local government.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Let's take a short break and return with more news.
Pay for your dream phone, Pola. Get your dream phone today for as low as 1,400 Uganda shillings with free data for a year and pay slowly. All phones come with daily 50 MBs for 12 months. Repayment period is 1 year. Available at MTN service centers and M-Kopa shops.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Even with my grandson, a doctor at my side, I struggled to get the help I needed. But he saw something that day. He began to work day and night. He wouldn't quit, even when people said no. He wouldn't stop fighting. He knew something had to change, and his vision was bigger than anyone could imagine. He made it possible to receive quality medical services anywhere in Uganda by simply using a phone.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you or call or SMS 162. Airtel, the smartphone network.
We bring you a fresh, well-researched program to help you identify opportunities for investment, job creation, growing your entrepreneurial skills, wealth creation, and social transformation. Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Every week, we showcase opportunities for creating new products and services. Excellence in innovation, the passion and drive to succeed, and the right mindset to grow your business. Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Brought to you by Operation Wealth Creation.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone and enjoy free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 Uganda shillings. That's free 2 GB for the first month and free 1 GB for the next 11 months at only Uganda shillings with free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 shillings only. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back from that short break, and straight away let's head into the world of sports. Top rally drivers have started arriving in the country ahead of this year's Pearl of Africa Uganda Rally. Championship leaders of Leroy Gabriel and others like Ashler were among the top drivers who arrived early before the race. The race will start with a shakedown section in Namataba to give a chance to the crew to test their machines in a terrain similar to the racetrack.
Getting prepped up, they're doing a good job, getting bumpers done. Gary. Look, I mean, Uganda, wow, this for me is the heart of rally. When I say the heart of rally, you have the biggest fans, biggest fan base. You know, if you've not raced in Uganda, you've not seen fans in Africa. So it's so great to be back here among great rally enthusiasts. Great. So we're going to have some tough competition. I mean, of course, you've got Karen Patel that's coming, and then you've got the local favorites that are also here, upgrading their cars, getting quicker as well. It'll be a battle. I mean, you never go into a rally thinking it'll be easy. We'll have to drive. The weather, I believe, has been raining quite a bit, so we don't know what the conditions are like on the routes until we get there. But it's going to be a challenge, and a rally, it's only over when you get to the end. So you just don't know what's going to happen. Safety is key. FI is really pushing that. And I think there's been a lot of work that's been happening in the background with the Ugandan fans. Look, you can't really stop everything. Just everyone be safe. These cars can be replaced, your lives can't. And for me, I respect life more than anything. But like I said, they're so passionate. There's not so much you can do. Getting prepped up, they're doing a good job, getting bumpers done.
That does bring us to the end of our lunchtime news. Thank you so much for being a part of us. My name is Patricia Lokoma Mpango. Very good afternoon to you.
Need to send money to a loved one but you don't have enough on your phone? Have you run out of fuel but you don't have enough money? Do you want to pay for your car or water but have insufficient funds? Or do you want to shop but you don't have enough money? Don't worry, get away with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial *165*5*3# to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
We bring you a fresh, well-researched program to help you identify opportunities for investment, job creation, growing your entrepreneurial skills, wealth creation, and social transformation.
We have a product that is ready for schools, supermarkets.
Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Every week we showcase opportunities for creating new products and services.
I now harvest a lot of cocoa. When I harvest it, I sell. After selling, I put money in my project. I have 2 projects. 1 is for construction of my house, 2 is for educating my children.
Excellence in innovation, the passion and drive to succeed, and the right mindset to grow your business. Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Brought to you by Operation Wealth Creation.
Even with my grandson, a doctor at my side, I struggled to get the help I needed. But he saw something that day. He began to work day and night. He wouldn't quit, even when people said no. He wouldn't stop fighting. He knew something had to change, and his vision was bigger than anyone could imagine. He made it possible to receive quality medical services anywhere in Uganda. by simply using a phone.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you or call or SMS 162. Airtel, the smartphone network.
This week on UBC.
I remember having the child cry at home and I had an appointment. And I said to myself, there are men on this committee. I just had a baby and I have to be there on time.
Yeah.
So I sleep with my phone off and in the morning I switch it on and I'm thinking, the time.
Yes.
I fed my child, left the baby and jumped on a bike and went to British Council for a meeting.
Super Soul Sisters, it's a new year, it's a new everything, and we've got the opportunity to meet our Super Soul Sister this particular day, and that is Eleanor.
I don't want to come on a set and sit here and say, oh, yeah, roll camera, and then the man is doing everything. I don't know what ISO means, I don't know what aperture means.
Yes.
I don't know what exposure means. I want to build onto my craft. So as a woman, I believe you need to add on to your craft. So you give men a reason to respect you in your industry. So if you're good, make sure you get better. Don't let it rest until your better is best.
Giver of life, Alpha without Omega. I am Africa.
Hail to Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, a land with the world's most beautiful, captivating features. Hills, mountains and valleys, the enigmatic animal species in the wild. A land where Africa is condensed into one small country with authentic endowments of nature and perfect safari. Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, is without the crowds with abundant primates, wildlife and stunning scenery. Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, takes you beyond the guidebooks, the known features and gives you the insights unmatched. Keep it UBC TV, where we inspire Uganda with authentic beauty and nature of our motherland. Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. Discover the fountain.
Most people never notice that all them want and need.
This special day, a legend comes on your national TV. When you think of legends, you can't figure out DJ Dan Starboy, the reggae and dancehall ambassador.
Pound the yard, pound the yard. I love you, woman, I love you. Yeah, you have your own style. I got to love you, you know I love you. Yeah.
Get certified of 99 greatest hits on UBC TV every Friday, 11 p.m.
Rasta no mean to fight, Rasta mean to love me people. Rasta no mean to fight every time. One love you.
Licky, licky, lava, lava, so, so, so. Licky, licky, oh yeah, lava, lava, oh yes. Them just a rock and come and just a skank in the dance, everyone. Them just a rock and come and just a rock and come and just a rock and come, rock and come. One love.
My name is Damali Sali and I welcome you to this episode of the Ideation Corner. The Ideation Corner is a space where ideas are discussed and dissected. And today I host Lukman Ali, who is a visual artist who got the first Ugandan movie on Netflix. Lukman, you're very welcome.
Thanks for having me.
I keep pronouncing your name wrong. It's Lukman.
Lukman, yes.
Lukman, okay. So tell us about The Girl in the Yellow Jumper and how you were able to surmount this thing of getting it on Netflix.
What's there to be told? It's a film about a nurse that goes on a revenge mission on behalf of her patient. It's a movie I made back in 2019 on a shoestring budget, so I'm very excited that it made it to Netflix alongside all these $1 million budget films. So we're very, very, very excited about that.
That's such a huge deal. How do you get a movie to Netflix, for example? Because it's the first Ugandan movie to do that.
Yeah, it's the process, of course, is very, what's the word? It's a very Hollywood kind of process. But for my case, someone saw the trailer, and you know how they say you're like always like 5 people away from wherever. Is it 5 or
5?
Fewer, probably.
Yes.
So yeah, someone saw it, they forwarded it to someone at Netflix, that someone reached out, and then they forwarded me to someone in a distribution company that were able to make the deal for me.
Okay, so this trailer was on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay,
it's still on YouTube, yeah.
Still there?
Yeah, still there. Yeah.
And you were talking to me earlier and you said that this was your first movie.
My very first feature film. I made a couple of shorts before that. My very, very first ever thing shot, which is a short film called Monday. It's on YouTube. And then that's the first thing I shot when I bought my very first camera. And then I shot a short film called The Bad Mexican. After that, I made Girl in the Yellow Jumper. So it was my very first time entering into the whole fray of making scripts and writing and stuff like that. Yeah, so in that sense, it was my first film.
Your first film, and it got on Netflix. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And then I also noticed that you're doing the movie and the writing, which is not common. Well, okay, I think it's done, but it's not often.
Yeah. So my dream has always been writing and directing. But I kind of put the writing on the side because I didn't have the confidence to write, you know. So I was more on the visual end of things. So I just kind of got confidence to write a few years ago, started writing. And it's very, very difficult, challenging, but it's fun, you know, it's fun. And yeah, I keep on improving. And I'm excited to see where this whole thing is going.
And you're writing all the scripts of the movies that you're doing?
Yeah. Yeah, because I've always had these ideas that I wanted to produce.